Good morning, students. In today's class, we are going to see the case study of renewable energy integration, approaches for smart grid application, and demand response. First, we will see the case study for the renewable energy integration. Nowadays, to implement the smart grid, the integrating your renewable energy with the conventional source is an important one. We have different types of renewable energy. First one is going to be the solar energy, wind energy, biomass, geothermal, and fuel cell. Among these different renewable energy resources, the two major thing that we are going to integrate it with the conventional resources is going to be the PV cells and wind energy. For example, you can take the AEP system, that is Advanced Energy Protocol System, where it has got the with the existing voltages of 765 kilovolt network, and this AEP network is going to transmit the power to 19,000 miles because the transmission line length is going to be 19,000, and also its capacity is going to be 200 to 400 gigawatts. Therefore, bulk power transmission system is implemented in case of your AEP system, and also the cost range for the AEP system is going to be $60 billion, and that too in the year 2007. Next is Cape Wind took like one step very closer to your AEP system, and this here only PV system has been incorporated, whereas in this particular case study your wind energy conversion system has also been taken into a part, where the wind producer in the United States is going to purchase the power with the national grid for 50% of the output. Therefore, the state's Supreme Judicial Court is expected to rule the PPA by the December 31st and 2011. Coming back to the South California, there they have implemented the PV plant which is of smaller in size. Therefore, the price of the price of the solar panel continues to drop. Recently, they signed the contracts for 240 megawatts of power to be produced by 20 small solar farms. You can take the example of UK based company that it is going to develop in UK or US. Mainly the renewable energy resources what they are going to use, it is a biomass or geothermal. So they are going to produce the electricity that is mainly utilized for sports car electric car, where it gets the power from wind turbine to break the British land speed. With 45 wave and tidal prototypes stated from ocean testing, IHS Emerging Energy Research says that a global ocean power market can also be poised for a takeoff. And also we have a Navy plant to roll out 10 ships, planes and submarines, powered blend of power fuels and nuclear power plant. The description of the smart activity. So there are two main descriptions that is going to be taken into account. One is direct interconnection of large scale resources. Second one, using remote sensing. In remote sensing, eventually the remote devices for the injection of dynamic reactive power. Why it is required in the sense in order to increase the network capacity by improving the power flow management. Approaches for smart grid application. In this approaches for the smart grid applications, we have an advanced metering infrastructure. The advanced metering infrastructure is a catchy term for all the smart meters. It is going to record the values of the data from time to time. The smart grid is often associated with the electrical meters or smart meters. This association helps to simplify a very complex process, but also it sells the vision of the smart grid short. The smart grid is no more about the meter than the economy is only about the cash to register. Both are merely collection points, that is interface between the buyers and the seller, where the data can be gathered and analyzed between them. So as in case of many business and technology scenarios, you cannot improve what you can't measure. But in case of your AMI system, it can capture the data typically as that of your original smart meter, and it provides information to the utility, and it will be very much transparent to the consumers. And also this can usually be utilized as in case of your like a piggy bank, like a data stored as a piggy bank on a variety of wireless system. One simple illustration is that the days of your electrical company representative swinging by to read your meter could be phased out with AMI. Next, we wanted to see about the demand response. Demand response is nothing but it is a strategy used by the electric utility companies to reduce or shift the energy consumption from peak hours of the day when the demand for electricity is greatest to learn the demand period. So consumers have used energy whenever they want to have the utilities that have been built by using the that have built the power plant and delivery infrastructure to support it, no matter what is the cost or the environmental impact. To achieve the economic and the environmental goal, consumers need to become equal participants in the process, tuning their energy consumption. So, in case of some electricity consuming devices which can be deferred to non peak time, everyone wins. While you make need to turn on your light when you arrive home, there is no reason that you can't run your dishwasher at 3 a.m. So when rates and demands are going to be lower, the reason behind the demand response program is going to be very much successful. So the definition for the demand response is it involves the allowing consumers to choose non-essential loads which can be shed by the consumer themselves or by the utility at peak time. So it is a pre-arranged agreement between the utility and the intermediate agencies. And also since the power plant transmission is going to designed to respond to higher potential demand, lowering your peak demand during the demand initiative times of the day, it helps the utilities to reduce the overall installation cost, operating cost, and mitigate the potential grid failures. There are many types of demand responses which include the emergency demand response, economic demand response, ancillary services demand response. Each of these demand responses has to be addressed under critical system need. So when you are going to consider your emergency demand response, so first you can take the consideration of your emergency demand response. This emergency demand response is used to mitigate the potential for blackouts and brownouts, that is voltage blockout or brownouts during the time when the demand threatens to exceed your power supply. So this is occur on days of extreme hot or cold temperature when heating and cooling systems are causing a greater demand on the grid. Next is going to be the economic demand response. This economic demand response is employed by the utilities in order to avoid the significantly higher cost of producing the energy during peak demand time during the day. That is associated with the peaking power plant to meet out the high power demand. Next one is the last one is going to be the ancillary service demand response. This ancillary service demand response is used to support the transmission of the electricity to load in case or in manners consistent with reliability requirement. Then we have certain challenges to the demand response. The implementing the challenges to the demand response comes with which involves around reliability. First one is going to be the fostering customer participation. So from customer standpoint of view, participating in demand response event can burden someone, particularly because it means grabbing heat and cooling system. When we are going to integrate it, curbing heat and cooling system, because CHP system we are going to integrate it with the renewable energy system, which on days which is going to make the temperature utilities to be higher. So utilities must find the appropriate incentives to motivate the customers. Customers with flat rates do not have a interest in curbing consumption. The second one is going to be your opt-out provision. Opt-out provision can be considered as a demand response event which and it could be more uncomfortable, particularly for vulnerable populations like elderly. Many utility companies have provisions that allow the demand response participation to override an event. Third one, signaling an event. Signaling an event is various types. In this particular challenge, use various types of technology to signal a demand response event to the customer. So here the coordinating between the DR event with the IT and communication technology. When you are coordinating, it requires a proper selection, testing and implementation. Integrating your demand response into your resource planning. So to meet out the challenges, we need the basic blocks of the demand response. The basic blocks of the demand response includes direct load control. Direct load control is nothing but the remote interruption of the customer, where the power distributor cycle loads like heating, cooling, elevators, washing, etc. can be done by considering the peak hours of the day. Second one is going to be the dynamic pricing. The dynamic pricing uses the variable electricity rate in order to encourage the customer to utilize the power generated. So utilities use a variety of pricing schemes based on the peak time rebates, critical peak pricing, and the time of use. Third one, technology to implement the demand response. It vary depending on the type of strategy being employed. So whether we are going to implement a direct load control or dynamic pricing control. Generally speaking, your dynamic response technology facilitates the communication with the customer and to control the heating and cooling system. The last one is going to be the end user interface. End user interface is nothing but participants of your demand response program uses a variety of channels like a mail, phone, and web portals. So in case of your home business displays, we'll be communicating with the customer about the event that includes the information about the energy storage and pricing with respect to the smart grid. Then load control devices. Load control devices means it is nothing but the actual cycle system like heating or cooling, on or off demand. Load control switches enable your direct remote control over your AC unit. The last one is going to be your AMI, that is nothing but your advanced metering infrastructure, which is going to increase the demand response both on your utility side as well as on your end user side. The key feature of your demand response under smart grid is nothing but the availability of the non-proprietary open standardized demand response interface, where the electricity providers has to communicate with respect to all the attributes. So here demand response signal directly to the existing customer uses a common language and existing communication such as internet, IoT, cloud computing, the data's weight, whatever it is available as a common data platform. Then the benefits of demand response. First one is going to be the yearly deduction. Under the first one is going to be the yearly deduction as a benefit of demand response. This is used to detect and respond to the load change. For whenever there is a change in your load, it detects it fast and it responds early by calling a demand response event. Second one, it is an improved communication. It promises to increase the efficiency of the demand response by streamlining the notification process and providing a real-time information to customer about their energy usage and pricing. Next is going to be accurate and easy verification. It enables the utility to measure and verify the customer curtailment. The last one is going to be the automation system. So this automation system uses a technology to load shed, send signals to the participants and also control all the devices that uses the electricity with the home or business. So with this, by using the smart meter, advanced metering technology, utilities are now capable of responding and recording with respect to the electricity usage much more in a frequent manner, and also it enabled the market mass customer who had used previously a bulk usage meters that to be introduced with a new type of pricing program and better reflecting the difference between the previously used metering technology with respect to the data utilization and present metering technology with respect to the data utilization. Thank you, students.